This is episode 24 of What's Been Better. This week, we're talking about road rage. It doesn't always happen when we are behind the wheel. Some of us carry that rage in our daily lives. To all those with the sensitive ears, we cuss a little for emphasis, not harm.
All right.
Not bad for being away for a while.
No, not
Whew.
really.
Yeah,
I don't think it was bad at all.
thank you. Well,
Hi, Miss Sylvia.
hi, how are you, Lori?
I'm doing better than I have been.
And I'm glad because you did not sound good. And I was very concerned that you were sickly and what was happening. So I'm glad to hear you clearly now.
Mm-hmm. Them sick demons tried to jump on me and beat me up, but I was not having it. I was like, boom, 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 boom. Yeah,
I know
just
that's
kidding.
right. I know that's right.
So I'm getting
Well,
better. I'm on the mend. Thank you for asking. What's
good,
been
good, good.
better?
A lot.
Okay,
So,
let's hear it.
um, oh my gosh, how long has it been since we recorded or talked? Like 2 weeks?
Maybe. I don't
Okay, in
know.
those 2 weeks, I saw a video on TikTok because I'm an avid watcher,
Okay.
and someone was talking about starting gardens for other people.
Oh,
And instead of having a lawn service, have garden service.
okay.
And my brain just went straight to manifesting. And I
Mm-hmm.
reposted the video. And in the description, I was like, these are all the things I know how to do. And the lady that does my locks put in the comments, sign me up. And
Wow.
I put in the comments, are you playing? Because I am not. So today, which is August 14th, is the first day that I started a garden for someone else.
Really? You said today?
Yes.
Oh, when did you start? What time?
It was at noon, so it's what 5:50 right now. It was at noon today. I started a garden for her, like
Okay.
a
That's
fall
so
kitchen garden.
that's so beautiful. A kitchen garden.
Yes, so it was like things that you kind of typically like what I have in my backyard, like things that you are going to eat out of your
Mm-hmm.
kitchen instead of going to the grocery store. I kind of
Okay.
I think I want to brand it as like a grocery store replacement garden.
That is beautiful. I
So,
think I'm well, I'm gonna say sign me up too. I like that. I like that concept. I've been wanting to do that. But I'm excited that you're doing that because there are people who can't touch it. Like
yeah.
they want it, but their mind can't reach it.
Yeah. And I think the best part about it was standing there today and being able to like explain everything to her,
Mm-hmm.
just all these things. Like I was able to share what I know and share what I've researched. Um, and just kind of help to make her comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it was super exciting. My husband was there with me because he helped me. Because I, in tandem with doing this, I'm also flipping my garden.
Mm-hmm.
So, which also means that I'm coming up on things that like I said I was going to do, which was also to build another raised bed. So, in the process of moving everything to make space for this new bed, I pulled something in my back.
Whoa.
So, I was down for a whole day. And so he was like, I'm going to go with you. It's going to be fine. I'll help you. So it's awesome also to hear him like telling her why he's into it now and like what he likes about gardening and being able to ask him questions too.
That's so
So
neat.
it was neat. I
Oh
just
my
felt
goodness.
good. It feels
Yes,
good
of
to
course.
also
Mm-hmm.
create something for someone else and to share this with someone else. And it's also something that I'm hoping turns into like a real full-time thing that I can do for other people and maybe
Mm-hmm.
make a little money if it happens, but also like everyone deserves a garden.
I think that's lovely, and I love that you have this desire to help other people. Want something that's life giving, life
Yes.
generating. How long did this process take today?
Um, okay, so I put that video out, I think last week, so 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when she said, okay, yeah, this is what we want to do, I started looking up, okay, what can be grown at her house.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because you can't just throw anything in a bag and hope that it works because of the
Okay.
weather.
Right.
And then gave her a list of like these are all the things that will grow at your
Mm-hmm.
house that we can plant in August. So
Right.
she picked from those, and then I was able to come up with like a price list and how much would it cost to do everything and save money where I could for her and for myself because
Okay.
it's also things I have to do.
Right.
And then I was able to source all the materials. So it took me a week and a half maybe
Okay. And then
from
when you
from the first day that we talked until getting it in the everything in their bags and in place today, 10 days.
that's neat. That is neat. Did she have to do a raised bed too?
She's not doing raised beds, she's only doing bags, but she is now thinking about doing a greenhouse like I have.
Oh. Okay. What's a
So
bag? What do you mean bags? What's
so
that?
they're actual like canvas or felt material bags to grow in instead of like those plastic pots or terracotta pots or like a wood raised
Oh,
bed. They're
okay.
like felt heavy duty bags that have handles on them that you can pick up and move wherever you need to move them to if you need to move them.
That is neat. Neat. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, because I'm not putting anything in the ground. I'm not fighting gophers, rabbits. I'm not snakes. I'm not
Okay.
doing that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
No.
So nothing's gonna touch her stuff.
No, no. I mean, bugs, but you can prevent bugs easily. So we kind of walk through that, walk through fertilizing, walk through watering. Because last thing you want to do is tell somebody like, oh, okay, everything should be fine. Just sprinkle some water on it and they dump a bucket,
Oh
like
Lord have mercy. So that's so beautiful. So it's you totally educated her. You
I
supplied her
hope
with
so.
right. But what I'm saying is it's not just planning something. It's a
No, no, no,
whole
no.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I really we were out there probably like 2 hours.
For
So I
today?
prepped everything at my
Mm-hmm.
house and then transported it to her house.
Okay.
Because I made the soil from scratch because I think that that's better. Um, I'm not a
You're
bagged
amazing.
soil person. It's just not
You
me.
how do you make soil,
There are
Sylvia?
specific ingredients that you make. It's not just dirt. Um,
Girl,
it's actually not dirt at all.
what?
No,
Uh, oh my God. What
there's
is this?
there's worm castings, which is just worm poop. There's something called vermiculite or perlite, which is like when you get houseplants and you see those little beads, those little white beads.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps it aerated so that way the soil doesn't like stick together.
Mm-hmm.
Peat moss or
Mm-hmm.
coconut coir. Um, some fertilizers to feed the plants while they're in there, like slow release fertilizers. And yeah, mix all that together. You got soil mix.
Girl, you
Yeah, I'm not
are
putting like dirt off the ground because you don't know what's in the dirt off the ground.
exactly. You're that
So
girl. I love it. This you have something, and I know it's gonna be wonderful. I
I
mean,
hope so.
yeah, you're gonna help so many people.
I just believe that we need to be the commanders of our own destinies at this point. It's too many things that we're dependent on that can harm us. And that
Mm-hmm.
worries me. And save money however you can. A
Mm-hmm.
bag of seeds is like $1.50.
Mm-hmm.
A bag of, and those seeds will be endless
Right.
because once you plant it and it grows, you can get more seeds from that thing. It takes
Right.
one seed to grow a watermelon. You could get 100 seeds out of that watermelon.
I,
There's
I'm
your
I'm
seeds.
I am listen, you know it don't take much to shut me up really. But you know, but I am very silent right now. Sylvia, man, I just love what you have because I think what you're about to do is really going to be life changing for so many people. And I'm just glad that you have the desire to do this, whereas so many people they don't know the first thing about doing this, and
Yeah.
they want to get out of the grocery stores because of the GMO foods
Mm-hmm.
and and we don't know what's when they say non-GMO, okay, really, but it's
Yeah.
something about being able to produce your own foods.
I
I
think
think it's
it's that.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think it's
So,
also this is all a selfish thing. Lizzo said it. It's selfish when you're making it,
hmm.
but it's selfless when you put it out there and you share it with other people.
Okay.
So it's the same as this show. It
Hmm.
started for really selfish reasons of me
Hmm.
wanting to get better.
Hmm.
And now that it's out and now that I interact with other people and now I talk to other people about this and now that other people are utilizing this as a tool,
Hmm.
um, I feel a little bit selfless because I'm like, how can I do this for as many people as possible? How
I
can
think
I
that's wonderful.
how can I
Yeah.
get this out here to as many people as possible?
Right. Well,
So,
I'm
yeah.
gonna put another spin on it because
Okay.
I want to offer just a little bit of a different perspective. Everything is selfish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything starts with self,
Yeah.
and so we could make it a good thing or a bad thing. It just depends on how is it helpful to you, right?
Yeah.
So if we love ourselves, we're gonna take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And I hope that we do. And when we take care of ourselves, guess what happens? When we take care of ourselves, we can't help but to take care of others.
Mm.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
If whatever you do for you, you're going to do to others every single time. So if you
Yeah.
show love to yourself, you're going to show love for others. If you show hatred to yourself, you're going to show hatred to others. So
Right.
everything hopefully starts out as a self thing. It
Mm-hmm.
just depends on the spin you put on it.
Yeah.
Are we judging ourselves about this, or are we, you know, whatever that is? But the hope is that we do things with the intent to show love to ourselves first and then our fellow man.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to help as many people as I can start their garden. Bare
I,
minimum,
lo-
just start.
yes, I think it's
It, it
beautiful.
doesn't have to be something where it's like I'm there every 2 weeks or, whatever, but at least I'm a phone call away, a FaceTime away, or just a text because somebody else does that for me
Mm-hmm.
already.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to pay it forward as much as I can because I think that
Yes.
this is one of the things that everybody should have access to, even if you live in an apartment.
Right.
There's a way to
Right.
do this, even
Oh yeah.
even if you live in an apartment. If you live in a basement apartment, there's still ways to do all of these things. It
Right.
is.
There's a person, you probably already know who this man is. He started in California, um, on the highways or on in the
Mm-hmm.
where they didn't have, I guess what they call it, an area where it's destitute of
Like in the
plants.
medians.
Hmm. But
Yeah.
they called it's a name for where it's destitute of plants and um, areas where you don't get a lot of fruit. And I know somebody
Like a
knows what I'm
food
talking about.
desert.
Yes, 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 yes. And
Yeah.
black guy and um can't remember his name, but he started out in California, but smart, very smart man as far as what, the things that you say about growing plants and fruit and, you know,
Mm-hmm.
not just not plants, but fruit and vegetables. And I just love the fact that you're doing that. And I think you might not want to become a household name, but I think you will at some point because you're trying to, get this out to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
So,
It's just so necessary.
hmm. Oh, absolutely.
It just only makes sense to me. And it's not something that I'm coming up with. That's the other thing. My mom sent me something about from Facebook that she saw. It was like if everybody grew a crop of foods and then they were able to trade with their neighbors, we could all stop going to the grocery store. And she was
Hmm.
she was like, "This is something you always say." And now it's out here. I said, yeah,
Hmm.
because none of this is new. I'm listening
Right.
to the ancestors
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
just doing what
Hmm.
and following their instructions. Like nothing is new under the sun. We all come from people who had to do this before because
Exactly.
Kroger was not invented when this country was invented.
That's for sure.
Like the option to pick up your buggy and go to the grocery store was not a thing. You went outside and picked up dinner.
Right. And I think we got so out of doing those things. We wanted things
Yeah.
instantly. Um, the guy that I was just talking about, his name is Ron Finley. The gang,
Okay.
yeah, the
Yeah.
gangster gardener.
Yes,
Yeah.
because he changed his yard into a garden and
Hmm.
it was basically against the law. He started getting tickets and
Yeah.
um yeah, and I know some friends that they have taken their grass out of their yard and it's so many people do it for so many different reasons, but his reasoning was pretty genius to me of like not necessarily feeding himself only, but also feeding his neighborhood.
Right.
And I think that if that was the option for everyone, because in a lot of places, a lot of people have HOAs, a lot of people
Hmm.
have nosy, rude
Hmm.
neighbors, a lot of people
Right.
will call code enforcement on people. And
Right.
I don't understand why the option is not there to want to do that instead of feeding grass that doesn't do anything for us.
Right. Well, because everybody has their own perspective, you
Well,
know.
yes,
And
yes.
so what you would do might not be what someone else does,
But
which means hmm
it shouldn't be illegal for me to do what I want to do.
well, if you're an HOA, it goes
I
back
It
right.
don't make any sense.
I
Yeah,
hear
but
you. I
yes.
hear you. But in some people it would just opt out, like move,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so for me, I don't want to be a part of an HOA. I don't care to be cookie cutter.
Never.
But again, see, while I even said cookie cutter, there are some people would be offended by even me saying that because then they say, how dare you call me a cookie cutter because I'm an HOA and I like it. So everybody
Yeah.
has their thing. So,
Everybody has their thing. I just don't think that we should be putting our thing onto everyone so hard that now we have to have a gangster grower because y'all wanted to take him to court
mhm,
for not wanting to water grass, but instead wanted to feed himself and others. How did we get here that now we're turning something so helpful into something harmful? I mean,
uh-huh,
that's the only thing I could think of. It's harmful to him to have to pay these tickets, to have to go to court, to have to fight these neighbors, to
mhm,
have to fight the police, to have to fight city
yeah.
hall.
But what
That's
happens
wild.
is he's winning, right?
Yeah.
And he's making money, which I'm so happy that that's happening. And he's making the name for himself. Not that he's trying to do that, but what happens in those particular situations is what's happening now.
Yeah.
Like because of that, the thing that they meant for harm, it turns out ending up for good.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy because now more and more people are recognizing, as like Sylvia, that it's important to grow your own garden,
Yeah.
to take care of yourself, feed yourself, and then you can have leftovers to feed others.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna happen.
It
You
was it
can't you
is
can't beat that.
no, it's like exciting when my neighbor next door is like, "Hey, I have extra whatever and I have
Hmm.
extra whatever and we can trade."
Hmm.
I love that. I love that he's like, "Oh, your peppers that you gave me, they're doing good," or "I ate some of,
Yes.
the different peppers," or, I was able to make a whole jar of pickles for the first time ever. I made pickles from the cucumbers that he gave me.
Oh, and see, and I eat your peppers on the regular, and so thank you.
That's right.
Uh-huh. I love
Okay,
your
it's been a
peppers.
while. I forgot
Mm-hmm.
about that. I forgot about
Mm-hmm.
that. Awesome.
It
See,
just keeps on giving.
that makes me feel better. And see, if you
Yep.
kept the seeds, you could have your own pepper plants.
Hey, well, I
Yep.
ate them.
Oh, well, we're here now.
Yeah.
But okay, we talked enough about me. What is better? What has been better for you?
Well, I'm feeling better.
Yay.
Um, I and I will say it's very important that we protect our immune system. So I'm just throwing this loving suggestion out to others, just
Mm-hmm.
hey, take care of yourselves. Because the minute your immune system, turns another, it's like a happy bounce. Um, and so I'm saying that because our immune systems can break down for the various of reasons. Not enough sun, not enough water, too much sun, too much water,
Mm-hmm.
too much exercise, not balancing when you come, like your pores being open, because last weekend I overworked, and I'm always working out in the yard, and so I'm overworking. And when your body tells you to pull it back in, pull it back in.
Yeah.
And then I call myself going to a pool party later on that day, and
Ma'am.
no, 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 no. And so that's where my immune system broke down, and therefore whatever was prevalent in the environment came for me, and I was down
Yeah.
like four flat tires.
And I
But
mean, everything is still floating around. All the same viruses are still out.
right,
So
right.
whichever one, it
Hmm.
didn't have to be COVID. It could be any of them. I
It could
mean,
be
people are still getting
anything.
colds. People are still getting sinus
Flu,
infections.
yeah, all
Yeah.
of those things. It's not just COVID running rampant.
Right.
And so I'm just, saying that as a public service announcement.
Yeah.
Let's take care of ourselves and make sure we get some really good nutrients in. Sylvia mentioned elderberry at one point,
Hmm.
a little while back. And so elderberry is very good. Lemon water is really good. Vitamin C, please take vitamin C. That's necessary. Vitamin D is necessary. Um, so as I'm feeling better, I had planned 2 months ago with my mom and my sister and my fiance to go see Fantasia,
Okay.
and we went to see Fantasia last night, and she was awesome.
Yay.
She
That's
was
good.
awesome. I
I haven't
mean,
been to
like,
a concert in a long time. That's cool.
yeah. So at the city of Stockbridge, giving a little plug out to Stockbridge, Georgia.
Okay.
They have an amphitheater, and it's really, really, really nice. And so she was out there. Johnny Gill opened for her. He was okay, but she stole the house. In
Okay.
fact,
It is Fantasia. So yes.
she did it for a good hour and a half. Like when I
Oh
tell
man.
you,
Did she kick her
yeah,
shoes off?
yeah, she did. Of
Yes, Lord.
course, yes, and she looks good too.
Yes.
So yeah,
With that
so
new baby
oh,
and
she
all
has a
that.
new baby. Okay.
Yeah, she's filming The Color Purple. They're
Did,
doing The Color Purple as a
oh,
musical.
oh
So,
wow, bless her, man.
yeah, I'm so
She works
excited
out.
about it.
She has to work out because when I tell you she was jamming and she was so high energy,
Hmm.
and the songs that she was singing, and it was hot out there, and then that outfit she had on was from ankle all the way up to her neck.
Oh wow. Ooh.
Like, and it was
Ooh.
glittery, and she was killing it. So
Okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
anyway, I'm feeling better, and that's better, and you know, just getting out and living my life. So I'm enjoying that.
Okay, I have to ask because it has been a couple weeks. Did you
Hmm.
get another bed? Did you get the right bed now?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That came. It came. Yes, yes, yes.
Yay.
The king size is here.
Okay.
I'm not knocking over lamps and shit. So
Did you
that
get your own remote is the question.
no. But you know what I decided? Because when I knew that it probably wasn't going to happen, I said we got to get our shit together. You know,
Okay.
and if we're on the same page, like I don't only want to start this. I'm gonna do my thing and he does his thing. Like we're gonna do our thing together and we're gonna work it out. And we have been. And it's been working.
Okay. So you
So
figured out like a middle number for both of you.
right. It works. And
That's what's up. I like it.
yeah, I could sleep.
That's
And
what's up.
so
I
that's
was
better
wondering.
too.
It's
Yeah,
been a
yeah.
while since we talked about it. So that's why I was wondering. I was like, oh man, when I talk to Lori again, I gotta ask her, did
Oh,
she
that's
get the right
hilarious.
bed?
Yes, ma'am. And there's nothing like sleeping on a good mattress. I'm gonna tell you, it's
Yes.
nothing like it. Even
Yes.
if we didn't adjust the base, like the bed is comfortable. It feels
Mm-hmm.
good. So
Yes.
yeah,
Okay. Well,
but let's
good.
get into this road rage. I know we went on
Yes, we did.
a escapade. We went around
I
the
had to
bend.
share. I had to share the good news first. I
Right,
had to.
right. So
So
this is kind of like somebody going slow on a 2-lane road. They want to go around. That's road rage.
get look, if
You
you
need to
needed to
get to the
fast
point.
forward to this point, it is fine. We understand if you skipped, but you missed the good news. So,
Right, 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 right,
but
right.
yes, let's get to this road rage situation because
Yeah. Well, so have
yikes.
you ever had road rage before?
I have before. I
Mm-hmm.
have.
What
And
happened?
but not like I'm not like crazy. But
What does that mean? How
I
you is there
um
stages to this shit?
yes, I feel like there's levels to this shit for real.
Okay,
Cause
okay.
I'm not one to pull out the little pew pews and start waving that around at people and like you cut me off. I'm not doing that. But like
Waving what? What's that?
a gun, I'm
Oh,
not doing that.
okay.
That level is a different level.
Mm-hmm.
Now, will I catch up to you at the light and stare at you? Yes. But am I going to like hurry up, get in front of you, and then slam on the brakes and brake check you for 2 miles on down the highway? No, I'm not doing any of that.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. There's levels to it. I'm
I
not
see.
I'm not doing that. I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
there
am
are
I gonna
levels
like
to it.
wave my arms a few times or maybe give you the finger? Yes, I have done all those things. But have I
Oh,
like
okay.
I'm not gonna wind up on the news.
Mm-hmm.
Like we also have to remember what I used to do for a living. It- Teachers
Well,
can't go to jail.
oh, okay. Well, therapists don't need to be going to jail either. But let me tell you
Exactly. If you
about
have a state license,
mhm.
you don't need to be getting in trouble. Not
No, not
especially not
really.
over road rage.
Right.
So,
Well, I'm gonna tell you a little story that just happened to me probably about it might be a month and a half ago.
oh
And
boy.
I don't
Okay.
usually get road rage. Like I really don't. I don't know. That's why I even think that this is a good opportunity to talk about this.
Okay.
But I'm on my way to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just minding my business. I get over in my far right lane to make my right turn. And I guess I wasn't going fast enough.
Okay.
So this big truck jumps right in just enough ahead of me to where I couldn't speed up a little bit so he can get behind me. And so I slam on my brakes and almost hit him. And now I am PO'd.
Okay.
And now he's kind of speeding on this 2 lane road, as he's going around the curve, like, because now I'm almost at my office. And I'm like, who is this dumb motherfucker? Because I'm mad now. And I'm riding, I'm rolling, kind of trying to just see who he is. And then
Okay.
he turns left into what is it? FedEx, because I obviously works for FedEx. And I could see his face, part of it, and I see his truck. And I'm like, okay, I see you, Broham. And I was like, I could turn around and follow you, but I'm not.
Right. That's
Had
what
to
I'm saying. It's
breathe.
levels.
So I had to breathe, but I'm on the phone with my fiance and I'm going in and I'm giving expletive and I'm talking about, I want to cut you off and I want to kill you
Nah.
almost, just saying mean stuff. So he
Mm-hmm.
was like, babe, it's not even worth it. I'm
No.
like, whatever. So when I get off work, I drive back around there to see if I see his vehicle.
Lori. See, that's what I'm talking about. These are the levels. Mm-mm.
Right, right. But the whole point is, and this is the thing, it wasn't him. It
No.
was being annoyed because somebody tried to get over on you. I was annoyed that somebody just thought he could get around me or to get over in a sense like I'm a fool or I'm not enough or like I'm not doing this enough. You get what I'm saying? There's a
Yes.
origin to this.
Okay, but
And so
I gotta ask
mm-hmm,
you a question before you
yeah.
go further.
Uh-huh.
Did you think about it all day?
Mm-mm.
It was just when you got back in the car that you were like, you
Right.
know,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So it
And it
kind
took
of,
me a second to kind of get over it. I mean, again, it goes back to it wasn't him, it
hmm
was me. And I had to check myself and I had to remember who I am.
right.
And it's easy to get off. It's easy to decide because it's all in the decision, it's all in the choice to not feel like you're enough or
Yeah.
or relax to say it's not that deep.
Yeah.
You could it's about what you say to yourself, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
But,
So there's some other stuff I want you to jump in there.
but okay. Yeah. See, I've never done that. I've
Mm-hmm.
never, I just, I also don't think I care enough.
Which is lovely.
But wait, it's another part.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a bit scared of everyone.
Oh, well,
Well,
I'm
because,
not.
okay, wait, let me say this. I'm scared of everyone because we still live in Georgia
Mm-hmm.
and open carry is a thing. And
Mm-hmm.
anybody could have any of those things under their seat.
They
So,
could, and I could,
so
and
that
they don't
fear,
know, and they don't know, and I don't know.
yeah,
But also too, I think you're not. I don't know that you're really thinking about that in that moment, or I'm not really thinking
me,
about the fact that
I'm
you have.
always thinking about that.
Oh, okay. I'm really not because I'm thinking if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. At some point, I'm gonna die. And I'm not
Okay, it's
knowing at
I'm a
what point I'm
die.
going to die.
Yes, okay, there is the I'm a die, but it's like if you live and now I gotta live a maimed life, I'm gonna be tight. I'm gonna be upset.
Right, right.
I'm gonna be highly, highly
Annoyed.
upset. Yeah. So I just would rather not do any of that. But I
Mm-hmm.
think also like I've been in car accidents. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I know how painful they all were.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I've had like 20 car accidents. It's only been two, but those two were really they were bad.
All both of them.
All right, all both of them. They were really, really bad.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So it's like I don't want to deal with bad drivers either.
Right, right. I feel you.
And okay, so here's the other thing that helps me in terms of like not having real road rage. I drove Uber for like 6 months.
Oh wow.
That'll fix you on a lot of shit.
I think so too,
That'll
and
cure a lot of stupid stuff. So
which is interesting because I drove for a minute. I'm glad I did. There was
yeah.
no road rage in me, and it comes and goes, right? And so
Okay.
I think too, when you're on your best behavior, which again, you have to think about who you're doing whatever you're doing for, which
Right.
is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about road rage anyway, because um, one of the reasons why people have road rage is displaced anger, right?
Yes.
They are angry at something else. They're
Hmm.
frustrated about, I don't know, they might have lost their job. They might not have got paid the day they thought they were going to get paid. Somebody did something to them before they even got in the car.
Hmm.
It could have been a lot, or something triggered them while they were in the car
Yeah.
and in a whole memory of a thing, right? And so they're aggressive toward the people driving, right? And it's in a sense like these people don't know you, and
Yeah.
we don't know what they're even thinking. They're not whatever they're thinking don't have anything to do with what we're thinking.
No. Everybody's in their own movie, like you said. But I think I think it's easy for me to say I don't have road rage because I'm thinking about like you're in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have like road rage just sitting in my house? Absolutely. Hell
Okay,
yeah.
how?
I, um, there is displaced anger
Okay,
for very specific things. So
okay.
one of the main ones I'll use the example is I'm still angry that everybody can't work from home, that people are forced to work in an office. So when I hear stories of COVID outbreaks at jobs
Mm-hmm.
or monkeypox outbreaks at jobs
Mm-hmm.
or people just being like, "Ah, I'm coughing. I can cough on everybody. It's fine. Not wearing a mask at their job
Right,
that they're being forced to go to. Things like
right.
that. I get real mad real quick.
Okay,
Uh, okay, we'll go back to going to the airport. I get real mad real quick about going through TSA.
okay.
Like I have full road rage in terms of like you go in that line and you have TSA pre-check and so does the person in front of you, but like this is their first time using TSA pre-check
Mm-hmm.
and they don't know you don't need to take off all of your clothes. You don't need to take off your shoes. You don't need to do anything. You just got to like do all the things that are TSA pre-check required. Yeah, I get
You
road
don't have
rage
to
off of
take your
like,
shoes no more.
oh, in TSA pre-check?
Oh, pre-check.
No, you're just walking through the line. You gotta take like your liquids out or your whichever airport you're at. You have to do whatever that requirement is. But everybody who has TSA pre-check, global entry, clear, any of those things, they have them for a purpose because they are more efficient.
Why you don't have to take your shoes off at pre-check though?
That line is just quicker. I don't know.
I think that's some bullshit.
Hey, it's worth every penny of it.
Mm-hmm. That's
But
that.
this is this is the shit that you get mad about because you're mad about like having to take your shoes off. No one should have to take their shoes off. It doesn't matter which line you're in.
That's what
We
I'm
all
saying.
we all shouldn't have the travel size liquids anymore because none of that shit has happened. It's still not going to happen. This was a whole ploy for this portion of the industry to make more money. It wasn't because it was making us safer. It's not making us safer that I can't have my bottle of water. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck are we lying to people? So this is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I get road rage in those aspects, but I don't get
Mm-hmm.
necessarily road rage. I guess I know what it is. Holy
Come
shit, I'm
on.
figuring this out.
Okay.
All right. I don't have road rage in situations where I can get hurt. I have road rage and shit
Ah.
that's like, I know that other people are being harmed, inconvenienced, or I'm being inconvenienced. And I
Mm-hmm.
know there's a better way.
Right.
Fine, we got different
Right.
options on doing the different ways and everything like that. And everybody has their own opinion, their own perspective. But we
Mm-hmm.
all goddamn know
Mm-hmm.
that if you have never been to the airport or you haven't been flying since 1977, your ass don't need to be in the line where the rest of us who literally travel 3, 4, 8 times a year,
Mm-hmm.
who don't come to the airport until it's the minimum amount of time because we all live within an earshot of the airport. We'll need to be
Mm-hmm.
behind you. There need to be a
Right.
separate line for the first timers. There need to be a separate line for handicap. There need to be a separate line for children and with parents and strollers and all the other shit. And then there need to be a separate line for the people who, like myself, don't even bring a full size piece of luggage to the airport anymore because we're not checking our bags at our house. We're not doing that. We pack efficiently and we need to carry our shit on because our bags will never get left, never get lost, and we're not paying anything extra. There should be a separate line for us.
I
Why the
love it.
fuck are
I
we
love
all in
it.
the same line? So that's the type of shit that I get road rage off of.
I
I
love
don't
it.
want to be behind you and you got the baby in a stroller, a baby in a baby bajorn, two diaper bags. You got your grandma with you who's in a wheelchair. You got the other person who's stuck on their phone and can't put their phone down and doesn't realize you're not supposed to be on your phone in the TSA line. Like, I don't want to be behind any of these people.
Mm-hmm. I feel you.
It's shit like
Right. And
that. So stuff like that,
right.
I get mad about. I get mad about like my friends and family that have to still go in the office knowing well that they have a job that's on the computer. Why the fuck are you going to the office?
Right.
Fuck are
Right.
you going in
But you
there?
know,
Like, prove it to
yeah.
me that you can't do this job sitting at your house.
Girl, wait. Now you know I have coughing fits.
I'm sorry.
So when you on one right now and I'm about to roll because this shit is funny as I'll get out.
But this is what I'm
Okay, I
talking
have to
about.
breathe.
I'm sorry. I don't have road rage in terms of like I could die from flipping my car over. I don't have road rage for that. Do I
Mm-hmm.
have road rage off of like, come on, y'all. We all know
Mm-hmm.
better.
Right. So it's a common sense, pay attention,
Yes.
um, look alive, read the fucking room kind of thing. You know,
Like,
I hear you.
yeah, when you go to TSA, there are videos playing, there are posted instructions. There is always somebody, especially in the Atlanta airport, there's always a TSA agent telling you what you need to do when you get up to the front in this line. How the
Mm-hmm.
hell have you got to the front of this line and you still have not taken your driver's license out? You knew damn well
Mm-hmm.
that you needed to
So,
have that out.
right. So you need a TSA cop to what would they what would you like for that to have? What would you
I
like to
just
happen?
told you I need a separate line.
Okay,
Don't
but
get your
what if
ass
they're
in
in
my line.
violation though? Right. So say that happening in violation, is there snatch your ass up kind of thing? Like what happened? Get out,
I feel like
go
you should
back
have
to
to
the
get
back of
out
the
of,
line.
yeah, I feel like you should have to get out of line or like stand to the side while everybody else gets to pass in front of you. We should not have to wait behind you to do the things that you should have known you needed to do.
I see.
Why the
So
hell am
people
I
need,
behind you?
I understand. And you know, that's in a sense where the person with road rage kind of comes in too, with
Mm-hmm.
like maybe the grannies on the road who's just going to Walmart in her neighborhood on a highway, like a little 2-lane highway that
Right.
goes from one place to a whole nother state, and
See, I
somebody's
have
going at a
patience for that.
certain speed. Well, but did you
Other
hear
people
what you
don't.
said?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I
The
have patience
word
for that, but other
is
people don't.
patience. Right. Well,
Yeah.
not a person who's trying to get back to school and they got a test that they have to take, and Granny don't give a fuck about that test, and
No.
and she's going 45 and a 50, and that person's going
Yeah.
60, which you're going, they're going faster and they do need to slow down. So it goes back to patience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then checking in with yourself to find out what is happening in this moment. But once you're gone, like boom, zoned out
Yeah.
and you're in that rage, hard to come back.
It is. It is. It is extremely hard to come back. And I guess that's why I'm saying I don't necessarily have it in situations like that where like real harm could be done. Nobody's going to be harmed by me being like, man, you knew you need to take your belt off before you got to the front of this line. But somebody could be harmed if you ram Granny's bumper.
Well, actually, the harm is done to you.
You right
And
about
that's
that.
right. And that's the thing. And so, which goes back to whatever we do to ourselves, we do to others. And as we shift our thinking, and as I think about, and I'm kind of going back to me having this road rage with this man, it took me a second to pull it back in because I had to remember, Lori, you're in charge of how you respond. And like you had said, Sylvia, if that man had a gun, he could have blown my brains out.
Right.
And and okay, and so at the same time though, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it, Sylvia, for you to even get frustrated because baby Bjorn is in front of you? Like,
Not, it's not, but it's also, it's okay. I don't know. You're not on TikTok, but the video I've seen on both TikTok and Instagram is a lady who says, what's a scam that has been around that we all just accept, even though we know
mm-hmm,
it's a damn scam?
mm-hmm,
I think that's what it is. It's
mm-hmm,
like, I don't want us to all accept that the scam exists anymore.
right,
I want us to
right,
all voice, not necessarily complaint, but voice
mm-hmm,
that we all see the scam and
mm-hmm.
that the scam needs to stop.
I get it. Yeah,
Because, yeah, I shouldn't be able to walk through TSA without my shoes on and you can't. Like that doesn't make any sense.
I get it. But then is it important enough to speak about it to where um you know
Yeah,
some changes are made? Like,
I think so.
and I agree, but then you also too, like, how do we do that? I mean, do we do it
Okay, there's the thing. Cause
yeah.
like me just ranting just now isn't it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't know what the proper thing is. Like, do we start a writing campaign to write TSA and or do we do one better? Do we write the government to say, okay, you've had TSA for 22 years now? No, 21 years now. Okay, let's get rid of it.
It could be. It could be someone so smart to have create a whole campaign around this.
Yeah,
Bring the news people in,
something.
draft this beautiful letter, like get all the smart people who have this angst too
Hmm.
to just up in TSA. It
I
could
mean,
happen.
because it's possible. I mean, I think it's just changes need to happen in so many different areas. I think it's also like prioritizing which which area is the thing that we all need to focus our campaign on. But then, like you said, like we're all doing our own thing. We can't agree on what we all think needs to change, first of all.
Mm-hmm. But I initially think that the thing that needs to change is us. We have to check in with ourselves first to find out first, am I displacing anger?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let me address what I'm really troubled about.
Yeah.
And what can I do about it first? It's
Yeah.
not that little lady's fault who's driving slow. Please slow down because, first of all, you're probably going too fast anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to ask yourself, is it that effing deep? It's more than likely
Right.
it's not. It's not even more than likely. It's not that deep. It's not worth you flipping your car over, uh,
Right.
putting on your brakes and letting somebody slam into you, or because you then what happens is we're starting to behave in a way um that when you think later about it, you might regret, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
if any behavior that we do, if we do it, will we be appreciating it later? You know,
Yeah.
and or if we are not doing that, then do we need to do it, right? Can we live a life of no regret? And
Mm.
it starts right in this moment, right?
Yeah.
And we have to check in with how we feel. Like for your situation, it might not be displaced anger so much when you are in this line as you see something that's happening that is um
Inefficient.
right, an inefficiency that you know can be better, and it becomes a gripe for you. So if that,
Yeah.
it's almost to say, and that gripe over time wears at you to be, and where it becomes resentment. So you got to ask yourself, what can I do about that so it doesn't create another more negativity in my mind, in my
Yeah.
life.
I think it's also like especially in a lot of situations around like now that we're living in COVID
Mm-hmm.
times,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not one to say that we're living post COVID. It's not over to me. It's obviously not over. So it's like, it's almost like I'm always ready to be mad about something that has to do. It's like I think we said it earlier, like sitting on ready. Like I'm
Right.
always like at 9. I could
Right.
be at
Well,
10 at any second.
was that before COVID too, or it happened when COVID
No,
happened?
this is only in 2021 when everybody started saying like for sure go back to work and act like nothing has happened, like it's all back to normal.
Oh, okay. Well, so this is what I would say about that. This was happening before that, though. Like this come back to work. People in power want to continue to stay in power.
Right.
People who want to lord over you and have control over you, they miss that. And so the
Yes.
fact that you're at home, having your own autonomy and shit,
Right.
living your best life, getting your work done. What? You
It
getting your
was
work done? No, you need to come back and let me annoy you.
it was happening before, yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it wasn't happening after everyone had proved they were wrong.
Who was wrong?
The people who needed to work in the office and watch you. We didn't have a pandemic before. We didn't have
Mm-hmm.
mass stay at home
Mm-hmm.
and work from home situations.
Right,
So we
right,
didn't have this proof of like proof of concept. You need proof
right.
of concept for something to work.
Mm-hmm.
We
Right.
have proof of concept now that people can literally go to their house with the same exact computer, log into the same exact system, and do their same exact work and probably do more work because they're comfortable.
And they're not bothered. They're not
Right.
annoyed. They're not
So,
micromanaged. It's a lot of things, but and so
yeah.
what it is we're fighting a system of things then at that point. And so I'm
Yes.
saying to all of us,
Hmm.
we have to check in with ourselves and ask ourselves, are we beating a dead horse? Are
But
we
I feel like the horse is not dead.
okay?
It cannot be dead
Okay.
because
Okay.
you're beating something that was never that I'm sorry,
Alive in the first place?
that is alive and is almost impossible to kill.
Okay, okay. So let me change that phrase then.
Okay.
Are we fighting a unbeatable system?
Like a losing battle?
Right, right.
I don't think so. I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy. I wish y'all could see how she's looking at me. But I don't feel like that. I feel like unions exist on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like walkouts exist on purpose. I feel
Okay.
like lockouts exist on purpose. I feel like all these things have
Mm-hmm.
happened and have worked before because collectively a group of people who knew that they were the people power
Mm-hmm.
making these things happen demanded change, and those
Right.
things got changed.
Right.
So they were fighting a system.
Mm-hmm.
Starbucks now has multiple locations that have unions
Mm-hmm.
that people never thought would happen.
Right. Right.
Starbucks is a huge system,
Right.
right? That no
Right.
one ever thought that they could topple.
Right.
People are still to this day walking out at Starbucks because they're like, no, y'all don't value us, and we are the thing that keeps this place running.
And that's what I'm saying. Get the fuck on. That
So,
right there.
right. But
I love it.
we have to collectively do that. So, this is what I'm saying. Like, how do we collectively get people to understand or agree? Because I think people understand. I just
I
don't think that
think
they agree.
maybe the collectiveness starts with a choice, right?
Hmm.
One person at a time
Yeah.
to say, I'm not giving this all of my power. And when I say all of my power, like this frustration,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm going to choose what kind of emotion, because all of this is backed by emotion, every last bit of it,
Yeah.
right? I'm going to choose which emotion backs me. Because if we are angry every time, right, um, that wears on us and it will eventually just take us out of here.
Yeah.
But if we can use, and then I talk about peace so much,
And
but
love.
but it doesn't. Some people are not at that place yet. So
I
we
think
we
people want to be at that place. I think people try to be at that place, but the that's not the language that the system that they're fighting against speaks.
I
You
hear you.
kind of gotta get past the code of whatever the language is that the thing speaks and then flip it to
Well,
love.
that could be too, but I also think we have to start where we are, right?
Yeah.
And where
Yeah.
we are might not even be where they are. We might be a little on a frequency a little higher than that, but we have to choose to not allow them to get our power from us. This is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because if they pull us in, it's almost like they got us. Ha ha, I got you. You'll
Mm-hmm.
never get to that peace that you want because they don't care about having that peace.
Yeah.
People who are miserable are not thinking about peace. They are thinking
No.
about misery,
Yeah.
and they're going to keep you miserable if you will allow them to.
And that's what I was going to say. And the people that are miserable are the ones forcing people back to work. The people that are
Exactly.
miserable are the ones saying, no, we got to keep TSA the way it is. Like you
Exactly.
obviously don't care
Nope.
about this
Mm-mm.
inefficiency.
They
But
could give two shits.
I
Mm-mm.
think another part of it is like there's a there's a fine line between, okay, I am voicing my opinion about this inefficiency and complaining.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because
Right.
my voicing my opinion was very different than
Mm-hmm.
complaining because I offered a solution.
Thank you. Okay.
I,
And
my
there we
solution
go.
could be delusions of grandeur, but it's still a solution offered. I didn't just say, oh,
Mm-hmm.
nobody should have to work in the office. I
Right.
said, these people have jobs that can be done from home.
Right.
I said, these people with these situations need to be in this
Mm-hmm.
particular line, and these
Right.
people need to be in this, which is totally possible because when you go to TSA, especially somewhere like Atlanta, there are multiple lines.
Mm-hmm.
Separate all of us out, filter us.
Right.
We
The
get
only
filtered
thing
when we get to the
is,
plane. When we get to
I
the plane, you get filtered out, do you not?
how
Okay,
how do they filter out?
we're welcoming all the people that have a gold star. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
can come up front. We welcome the people that need extra time because they got a wheelchair. Y'all go to the front. We welcome the people that have children that need extra time to move their strollers. Y'all go to the front. Okay, everybody else that knows how to get on the plane by themselves and need any help, y'all get in line. We're filtered out. Why can't we
Yeah.
be filtered out at the beginning?
Yeah. You're right. I think you're
I'm
onto
not
something,
I'm not
young
just out
lady.
here complaining and being like loud and boisterous about it. I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
there's other ways that we could be doing this
I
that
feel
seem
you.
less stressful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I I'm down.
I
Do
wish I
you?
had more control.
Well, it starts right there with that. And
Yeah.
so you bang that gong, and the more you do, and that's love too, by the way, because
Yeah.
you don't have to add frustration with it. You see what I'm saying? Because the
Yeah.
more frustration is with that, people hear the frustration and they don't hear the
Yeah.
solution.
They don't hear that I'm trying to be helpful to all of
Right.
us, not just myself. It's not that I want to be at the front of the line. I don't care if I'm the fifth person in the line. I just want to be in the correct line.
You want efficiency.
Yeah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the it's the same with the garden.
Mm-hmm.
I
And,
make my own soil because I don't want to fight bugs. I know that there are soil brands that if you
uh-huh.
buy the soil in the bag,
Mm-hmm.
it has the eggs and the larvae to fruit flies, and other kinds of bugs. I don't want to deal with
Uh,
that.
oh.
I don't want to deal with that. I know exactly what I put in every single container.
I tell you the truth. That's what I'm talking about.
But that's an
I,
efficiency thing.
listen, all I'm saying is I'm rocking with Sylvia. When all hell break loose, Sylvia, where you is? Where you is, girl? I'm be right there with Sylvia. Cause she knows how to separate the fruit flies from the other larvae shit that uh-uh.
Look, it's just
I
certain
don't know what
things
she
that
was just talking about, but I like
learn.
it what she
You
just said.
learn. You learn from the headaches that come with these things. You learn from the sadness of like, okay, squash brings specific kinds of bugs. They
Mm,
bring bugs that bore holes into the roots and
mm.
into the stem. So now your plant will no longer grow because it's got holes.
Oh man.
How the hell were we supposed to get rid of these? Oh, we just needed some soap and some water.
Oh man, I'm scratching my arm. Listen, and also for the for the people who actually have road rage,
Mm-hmm.
please recognize what is
Yes.
taking place in real time. No one is doing anything to you unless you
No.
allow them. Please understand. And
Yeah.
so you have to decide what you're allowing into your life. It could be that you slow down. It could be that you need some patience. You need to relax more. Also, you might need to confront the thing that bothers you. If your husband is on your nerves, or if you suspect that somebody is doing something that is nefarious, or if in-law, you don't really want them in your home, or like whatever that is that's there. If you don't like your job, speak to what you know troubles you. Please don't take it out on the people on the road who are not necessarily thinking like some of the people in the TSA line who are probably not thinking either.
It's,
Just saying.
I'm just, yeah, no one's doing anything to you. You are going to do a lot more harm to yourself and others by having this displaced anger, this rage. And even myself, I just need to take a breather. I cannot convince anybody, make anybody, change anybody's mind on any of these things. All I can keep doing is saying or showing there are better ways.
Yeah.
There are other ways. There are more thoughtful ways. And I really, my only hope is that others start looking and thinking about like, oh, I could just turn right on 3rd Street every day instead of trying to stay in this line on 5th Street. 5th
Hmm.
Street has always been clogged. You are always going to be stopped on 5th Street. Go a different way.
Yeah. Thank you. I like that.
Yeah. Well, all right. That was an interesting talk.
Yeah. I'd say so.
You want to wrap it up?
Yeah. I'll holler at you.
All right. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for listening.
That's it for this week's show. I'm Lori Scott.
And I'm Sylvia Johnson. And you've been listening to What's Been Better.
A big thank you to Lagan Music Inc. for providing our music. This show is edited and produced by us with a little help from our family and friends. We love you all.
We want to hear what's been better for you. To be a guest on the show, send us an email to questions@whatsbeenbetter.com. Or you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at What's Been Better Podcast.
Thanks for listening.